Where are you from?
I'm from Massachusetts.
How were you discovered?
I kind of just put myself out there and, I don't know, I guess next kind of asked me to come out to LA, and we had a Skype interview, and then that went well, so they flew me out, and immediately I started working, so kind of weird story, I guess.
What magazines or ads have you been in?
I've been in, recently I just was in the distressed issue of Flaunt. I shot that with Christopher Ferguson, and I really loved it. I've been in, my first job ever was the catalog for Urban Outfitters, and we shot in Cape Town, so that was like a notable one because it was my first job and really my first time kind of leaving on my own. I've been in Rush, I've been in Oyster, I've been in Marine Corps Australia, I've been in so many magazines, I can't think of any of them right now. This is really embarrassing.
How do you feel about this career?
It's funny, I just had this conversation. I think the way I see the career is sometimes I'm like, well, like, am I really doing any good for the world? Because there's a lot of other things that are important to me that I can't really focus on when I'm doing this. And then I think about it and it's like, well, the more work I do, the more credibility I get, the more people take me seriously, the more I can use that power to kind of help the other things I want to do. Like ocean cleanup, for example, is like a massive passion of mine. And right now, maybe I can't focus a ton of time on it, but there'll be a time when I can, and hopefully this will help that.
How did you decide to become a model?
I was an athlete growing up, and that was not my favorite thing, but everybody kind of pushed me to do it. And there were times growing up where I was like, I'm gonna be a model, I'm just gonna like start just meeting with agencies, and then I actually got picked on like a lot by teammates and stuff, so I kind of stopped. But I had always wanted to do it, and finally one day I was sitting in my room and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna put myself out there, and just like decided to do whatever I could to kind of leave the not fun athletic school like stuff that's just not me behind.
How would you describe your specialty?
My specialty, I guess, what do you mean specialty as far as work goes?
Yes.
I'm really good with fashion, like, just, because I can tell kind of how clothes are looking. Like, I think most of the time I'm a help for the stylist, because if I decide to do a different pose and maybe it's messing up the garment, like I can fix it right away, and I just kind of know how to make clothes look good, I guess, even in weird situations.
Who is your favorite model who you look up to?
My favorite model is Kristen McGanamy, because she's like so, I don't know, magical looking, and I like super aspire to be like her. I had platinum hair for a bit, and that was cool because I felt like I could relate to her a little more. So yeah, that's my model.
What would your ideal job be?
As far as modeling goes?
Yes.
My ideal job is always anything that travels and the client's really nice and pays well, but as far as a client goes, I don't know, it's really just an ideal job, just depends on the day. It has to be like a good team, like not working with negative vibes on set, that's never fun, so really anything that's happy and hopefully travels and pays.
Do you consider yourself to be lucky?
Yeah, I do. I'm really lucky, actually.
What advantages do you have?
I don't think I really have that many advantages. I mean, sometimes people book me based on my gap, and I guess that's an advantage, even though it's kind of like not really want to be known for just my teeth. So I guess sometimes that can be an advantage, but other than that, I don't think I have any major advantages.
What did you do before?
Before I was modeling, I was studying marine biology, and I did that for a little bit and didn't finish, but I don't think it was the right place for me at the time, and much happier, much more, I think, level, like, chill now that I'm doing this.
Would you rather have a car or a diploma?
A car or a diploma? A car. I don't need a diploma.
How do you feel about globalization?
Globalization.
What do you think about the amount of stuff people buy?
I think it's pretty ridiculous, especially the amount of money people spend on certain things. I mean, obviously, I like to shop, and that's great, but it's definitely too much. People focus a lot on having things and showing off things rather than the people in their lives, which can be really sad to see sometimes.
Would you rather live the American way or be a socialist?
I don't know. I think America has like such a what's the word? Like such potential, and I think power is like not in great hands. So even though we have like this big freedom and how the way things should be with just the Constitution and everything, I think that's great. I don't think we're like going in that path, and I think we should not use the power we have the way we're using it, and that's hard. But I think the American way, as far as the Constitution and what we say we do and what we say we want to do, that's great. That's like great to live by. It's just a matter of actually doing it.
What does the future look like to you?
Scary. The future, as far as the world goes, it's a little scary because every day some new conflict is arising, and that's terrifying. And every day the planet's just getting a little more destroyed. But I think there are a lot of people in power who are starting to want to make changes with that, which is awesome. But as far as my future in modeling goes, I see it just getting better from here, and every day it's just kind of like a little tiny push, and someday it'll just be where I want it to be, but I think it's a good future.
How do you feel about having children?
I want to have children so badly. Not right now, but someday. I just like the idea that there's like a little tiny person that like loves you so much. Sorry.
Can you tell me what challenges or conflicts the world is facing today?
I mean, right now, there's that major ISIS issue, which the last time I really updated myself on it was when the president addressed the nation. And that's terrifying because a lot of people don't really realize that's going on, and it's scary to think that there are such like radical people out there that behead people on film to make a purpose. And it's understandable because our nation, as far as military, takes some pretty dramatic approaches as far as airstrikes and random airstrikes almost. So it's understandable that there's conflict, but it's scary to think that that could lead to innocent people in our country being murdered. Even though we're murdering innocent people in their countries, it's just scary when it's your home, and you can't really do anything about it. So it's a major issue that's going on right now. Another major issue, I think, is just the ocean. There's like these massive issues and these massive places that everybody knows about, but then there's places that are in the middle of nowhere, nothing really touching it, and the coral's dead, there's no fish. And it's just because effects from everything else around the world. People see these massive issues and oil spills and stuff like that, but it's like so much more than that. It's a massive ocean. I've said massive like 30 times, I'm sorry. But like, you see it on the surface and it can look really good or really bad, but what you don't see is what's under the surface, and like how small the population of certain fish are and how much we've overfished for so many things people don't even realize. Like, fish oil is great and all, but fish oil leads to a lot of just destroying of entire ecosystems when you can get it from eating like kelp and the stuff fish eat to get that oil. So basically there's a lot of war problems going on, and then there's a lot of earth problems going on right now. It's a scary time, but I think it's a good time that like people can change and like learn, and like I think 2014 will be a year where people kind of wake up and change a lot of things. It's just kind of all leading up to that right now.
What is your favorite way to communicate?
My favorite way to communicate is actually seeing people. I mean, I guess if that's what you mean, I like to actually sit down and talk to people or talk on the phone. I had long distance relationships with boyfriends before, and that sucked so much, so I really appreciate being able to sit and talk to someone.
What do you think of the creative scene in Los Angeles?
I think Los Angeles has a lot of creative people who do really beautiful work as far as art and fashion and everything goes, but then there's also a really bad rep that I think LA gets as far as fashion and creativity goes sometimes.
What is your favorite film, book, or music right now?
My favorite movie is Sabrina with Audrey Hepburn. That will always be my favorite movie. I just watched it one night by myself and I just fell so in love with it because she's just so graceful and her voice is so beautiful. So that's something I'll just keep watching whenever I'm bored or sad or whatever.